You're listening to Men of Abundance, episode 157. Today is Pay It Forward, Aloha Friday, and we're talking about that music you listen to.
Welcome to Men of Abundance, the podcast for those looking to level up their lives by hanging out with some of the greatest leaders and established professionals in our community, living a life of integrity, honor, and the abundance mentality. Prepare to pay it forward with your host, former Army medic turned lifestyle entrepreneur, Wally Carmichael.
Aloha, Men of Abundance. I am Wally Carmichael, your founder and host of the Men of Abundance podcast, the Pay It Forward community. Today, I am talking about a subject that was on my mind while I was traveling around Florida and Georgia and just driving around with my family. And, normally when I'm driving, I'm listening to some sort of audio book. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm feeding my mind with all kinds of awesome information. Sometimes I'm just listening to some audiobooks or some podcast that's entertaining. Not always trying to learn something new, just trying to get a different perspective and just be entertained. And while I do enjoy music, and first thing in the morning, the music I listen to is slack key guitar. If you've never heard slack key guitar, I will share some with you here right now. Isn't that relaxing? That's what I wake up to every morning. That's on my Google Home, and I just say, okay, Google. I got to say it quietly. Yeah, they already turned on. But anyway, I play slack key guitar first thing in the morning, and I play it while I'm getting ready, and sometimes I play it during the day while I'm working on some stuff. But the bottom line is this. I do like music. I like listening to music, but, I'm the type of person, and I always have been the type of person that I listen to lyrics. And, you always hear, at least when I was growing up, my parents and adults and in general, they always say, why do you listen to that crap? It's just that all they hear is blaring music. Because I listened to heavy metal when I was growing up. Then I got into rap and some of the hardcore rap with like Too Short and NWA and just all the really hardcore stuff. Then I got into some other stuff and I changed. I got into country music and I listened to all kinds of different genres. I even like Indian music. I loved it when I was in the Middle East, or actually specifically when I was in Egypt and Israel. They played a lot of music that was, I believe it was just Indian music, not indie, Indian music. And I truly enjoyed that. I like the sounds of it. But anyway, as I was driving through Florida and Georgia, I really started paying attention to the lyrics. And I guess because my mind is so tuned into living a life of abundance and tuned into mindset and tuned into my subconscious of what it tells me and what it's told me over the years and how I've transitioned and started having a little bit more control over my thoughts and my words, that I realized that the lyrics in many of these songs are why so many people that listen to this music on a regular basis just can't get ahead in life. And the ironic thing about it is these artists are singing about things. For instance, country music is singing about, losing something, losing a wife. The old adage, it's just kind of funny. But the fact of the matter is they talk about drinking a lot. They talk about going to the bar, just all the stuff that just woe is me type of stuff, right? Same thing with hip hop and rap music. You've got these artists that are singing about being on the streets, capping somebody, shooting somebody, slapping a hoe, whatever the case may be. But the funny thing about it is, and the irony in all of that is, none of these artists are living that life anymore. They're singing to a group of people that are down and out and broke and in a bad situation, but they themselves are no longer in that situation. Maybe they were at one point. Many of them weren't, but some of them were. And they're not there anymore. But yet they're still singing to the people that are where they were when these artists, because they are artists and they're poets, and they put these lyrics together and they put these words together, and they're trying to appeal to a group of people that can relate to their story and to their poetry and to their art, to the music. They can relate to the lyrics. They can relate to that situation. And it's my belief that that is what keeps many people where they're at, because they listen to this music day in and day out. You listen to this music day in and day out, and you hear that, and you repeat it, and you sing it aloud, and you're telling yourself that, whatever it is. Listen to the music that you're listening to. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to the words that you're repeating to yourself over and over again outside when you're speaking out loud, and then thinking about that throughout the day. And, mindset is so strong. Your mindset is the foundation of every part of success or failure in your life. It's the foundation. And once you pay attention to the words that you're telling yourself when you're talking to yourself, because you are talking to yourself, once you realize what it is that you're saying to yourself on a conscious level, you're going to start being able to get a little bit more control of your subconscious level. That takes a little bit more time. That's some of the stuff I talk about and I work with some of my clients. And in my program is I try to get down closer into the subconscious level. And I'm not a therapist. I don't try to get into, all the deep, dark secrets of your life. But the fact of the matter is you have to bring some of that stuff out and realize what your subconscious is telling you, and try to have a little bit more control of that through your conscious talk. And if you think you don't talk to yourself, think again, because right now, as I'm speaking, you are talking to yourself. You're saying something like, what the hell is Wally talking about? My music that I listen to isn't bad. It's not keeping me down. It's not stopping me from being successful in what I want to be successful at. And then you realize, oh, crap, I'm talking to myself right now. Crap, there I go again. I'm still talking to myself. You talk to yourself. So once you realize that, now that you've realized that, you can start reprogramming your dialogue to yourself. And when you catch yourself talking to yourself and saying something like, I can't do that, or I've never been able to, like I say, I've never been a fast reader. Well, you can change that up and you can say, well, I wasn't a fast reader, but now I'm working on it. Now I am working on being a fast reader. Maybe I'm not a fast reader. I'm not going to lie to myself and say I'm a fast reader, but I am going to say something like, I am working on reading faster. I am working on retaining more of what I read. I'm working on getting more physically fit. I'm working on honing my skills as a coach so that I can help more people and add more value to other people. Not something like, man, I sure would like to lose some weight. I would like to lose like 20 pounds someday. But I just don't have time throughout the day. Change that up to, I am working on a plan to get in better shape. I'm getting up every morning. I'm making the time. I'm not finding the time. You can't find the time. You got to make the time. I'm finding the time to get this done because it's important to me. It's important to my family. Or you might be saying something to yourself like, man, I sure wished I didn't have so much debt. I would love to get rid of this debt. And everything you think about is about the debt. When you change that up, it looks something like, I am really looking forward to reaching that date that I put on the calendar when I'm going to have $20,000 sitting in the bank. And I've got the plan to do that, and I'm slowly working on that plan. I realize I'm not there yet, but at least I'm working on the plan towards that date to have that $20,000 in the bank. You see the difference? I'm talking more about having the $20,000 in the bank as opposed to the debt that I'm in. That's the mindset that you have to change. These are some very simple techniques and very simple things that make a huge impact on where you're going to be at in the next 5 to 10 years. It takes time. But the bottom line is this, and back to what I was originally talking about the music is playing in the background. Sometimes you're not even listening to it consciously, but subconsciously it's there. And it goes all the way back to your childhood. And the more you have this type of stuff in your subconscious mind, the longer it takes for you to kind of change the dialogue in your head. You got to go back. Those tapes are always going to be there, but you got to go and start playing new tapes. Start playing new videos. Start playing new audio in your head. And the way you do that is through podcasts like this one, like Men of Abundance, through audiobooks, through reading, and through communicating and hanging out with a group of people that are where you want to be, or at least on their way to where you want to be. Instead of hanging around the people that are also broke just like you, speaking just like you, but have no desire to move forward like you do. I'm assuming you want to move forward. I'm assuming you want to have better relationships in your life. I'm assuming that you want to have better health and finances and fitness. I'm assuming that's what you want because you're here listening to my voice right now. And if that is the case, then one thing that you can do is get into the Men of Abundance community on Facebook. If you're not already there, just go to menofabundance.com/members or click on the members tab at the top of the webpage if you're already at Men of Abundance and request access. And I'll check it out. I always look at everybody's page. I have the time to do that right now. As the group grows, I may not. But right now, I have 3 very simple questions there that I want you to answer real quick. And it really is very simple. You'll see when you get there. But that's just so that I know kind of where you came from, what you're looking for, and if you may think you need some help in living a life of abundance. If you do, click yes, and I'll get in contact with you. All right, guys. It is Friday. It is a long weekend. I know some people have a 4-day weekend. I have a 3-day weekend, and I have a very special guest coming up for you on Monday. Kevin Henry is a friend of mine that lives here in Hawaii. He's local here, and I think I get into how him and I got introduced, but I definitely talked about that in another episode. Maybe I'll have that linked up. But Kevin Henry and I are going to have a conversation about diversity, and I just think it's appropriate to launch that on Monday, since Monday is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and I'm really looking forward to sharing that conversation with you. So if you have not already subscribed to Men of Abundance, make sure you subscribe so that you get the episode pop right up in your phone or whatever device it is that you're listening to podcasts on. And guys, make sure you share this episode. Make sure you share Men of Abundance with others because they're going to want to hear this conversation as well. All right, go out and live your life of abundance.